So imagine this, you're Asus. You've been making gaming phones for around 6 years. They're generally successful, but its appeal is pretty much limited to just hardcore gamers who want an ROG logo on their phone. Now, you want to change all that with your latest release. So what do? You basically gentrify the phone. And the result of that is this. This is the ROG Phone 8 Pro. This is probably the least gaming phone of all of their gaming phones. And in my opinion, it's actually the best. So we're going to take a look at the ROG Phone 8 Pro. We're going to take a look at what differences are from the previous generation of phone. And I'm going to tell you why this is probably the best gaming phone that they've ever made. So one of the biggest changes for the ROG Phone series, for the ROG Phone 8, is that it is no longer really, it doesn't shout gamer anymore. If you see the ROG Phone 8 without the animatrix on the back, we'll talk about this in a bit, it just looks like a regular gaming phone. Sure, there are some gaming accents here and there, but it's a big difference from what used to be, what the design used to be. There are no more excessive lines. There's no more gaming accents on the phone. So it's basically just a matte black phone with a metal frame that's very easy to hold in the hands. You'd also no longer get these weird designs on the side on the ROG Phone 8. It just feels like a regular phone. And I think after like probably a year of using this, that's exactly what the ROG Phone needed. Asus going with a more contemporary design for their new gaming phone has a lot of benefits. Number one, it's not as tall as before. The ROG Phone 7, as much as I liked it, was only fit for my obnoxiously large gorilla hands. With ROG Phone 8 Pro, it's shaped like an actual phone now. You can use it one-handed without having to actually stretch your hand all over to the top just to pull down your notifications. Number two is that without the crazy design elements like that flap that opens up to exhaust heat when you're gaming, the phone now gets an IP68 rating. It is the first time an ROG phone is able to get water resistance. So that means you can go 30 minutes, 1.5 meters, nothing will happen to it, just like any other flagship phone in the market today. But despite all of that, Asus did not forget its gaming roots. Now, you still get a way to actually show notifications at the back. It's called Animatrix. It's not as obnoxious as that stripe of OLED on the ROG Phone 7, and you can turn this off. When this is off, the back of the phone looks exactly like any other matte black phone. Now you can customize this. You can display your name, or you can just turn it off. Again, looks like a regular phone when you do. And just like the ROG Phone 7, the ROG Phone 8 Pro gets a side buttons on the top. So you can use this as basically just shoulder buttons when you're playing. The only difference now is that it's been downgraded a little bit. It is no longer ultrasonic, so that means you only get a left and a right shoulder button. That's it. And that degree of downgrading, if you call it, actually extends to a lot of the other features that we used to have on the ROG Phone 7 when it comes to the ROG Phone 8 Pro. For example, the battery has been knocked down 500 mAh, so instead of 6,000 mAh, you only get 5,500 mAh. The phone's speakers are no longer front-facing, so they're on the bottom, but it's not as loud as before. So as far as the active cooler goes, that's the bit that actually goes on the back of the phone to cool it. It's now a lot smaller than the ROG Phone 7. As you can see here, there's also 2 fewer buttons, and it also does not have a subwoofer built in. But again, all of these changes means that you're getting a far more refined, a far more mainstream phone, and the ROG Phone 8 Pro is better for it. So not all of the changes to the ROG Phone 8 Pro are bad. The best change here is that Asus actually took the effort to put in a really good camera sensor in this phone. The ROG Phone 8 has a 50 megapixel sensor along with a mechanical OIS on the back. So that is paired with a 32 megapixel f2.4 telephoto lens with PDAF and again OIS plus 3 times optical zoom. Now, the final camera is not a filler camera, it's a 13 megapixel f2.2 ultra-wide sensor. Now, the phone does really great when it comes to shooting photos and videos. Obviously, that is not a full review yet, but as far as we can see, it's really doing great when it comes to photos. And what would a gaming phone be without a really good display? It's probably one of the nicest displays that we've seen on an ROG phone yet. Now, what would a flagship phone be if it did not have the latest and greatest silicone? Now, for this one, for the ROG Phone 8 Pro, it actually comes with Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processor. Not exactly the same processor as the one in the Samsung Galaxy Ultra, but close enough. Now, it has a 24 gigs of RAM and 1 terabyte of storage. That is more RAM and more storage than most people's laptops. That's pretty much overkill for what you need to use this particular thing for. And while we cannot show you benchmarks yet, that we're gonna save that for a full review, we did not feel any kind of lag when we're playing any game. Like, it doesn't even matter what game it is. When we're playing Genshin Impact on Ultra on the highest setting with 60 frames per second, we did not feel any slowdown. Now, the phone does heat up a little bit when you're playing, but of course you can always just plug this thing in. This is exactly what it's there for, and you can pretty much play on that setting until you exhaust your battery. Speaking of battery, you're getting 5,500 mAh, like I mentioned earlier. There is 60-watt fast charging, and now the first for the series, there's also wireless charging. It's a little slow at 15 watts, but hey, at least you can use a Qi wireless charging pad now. No, a lot of you are asking how much this will be in the Philippines, and I can tell you right now, we don't know yet. ASUS has not released the pricing, the local pricing for this thing as of the moment, but you can probably go off US pricing if you want to know like the ballpark how much it is. In the US, this particular configuration, the top of the line model is $1,500. That's around 85,000 pesos. Now, because of how exchange rates work and how import taxes work, you're probably gonna be around that ballpark, let's say around 90,000 pesos, which is a little steep for a gaming phone, I gotta admit. But again, this phone is probably the most refined gaming phone that we've ever tested. Will that actually affect how much it sells or how well it sells here in the Philippines? Maybe. It depends on what configurations they're gonna bring in. We're hoping that they're gonna try and bring in a bit more saner configurations rather than this. I don't think people need 1 terabyte of storage. Hopefully, ASUS will be able to price this with a little saner price point, because I gotta tell you, this is one of the best ROG phones that I've held in a while, or one of the best gaming phones I've actually used in a while. So that's basically it for this video. I'm really liking what I'm seeing with the ROG Phone 8 Pro. If you want to see more about this phone, if you want to see some of the features that needs more highlighting that we did not cover in this particular video, please check out our Instagram, check out our Facebook. We're going to be dropping reels and stories about this phone as we use it during our day-to-day review process. That's pretty much it. Thank you very much, guys. My name is John. Peace out.